Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of the Cultural Diplomacy podcast. In this edition we will discuss about Switzerland. Diplomatic relations between Romania and Switzerland were established on May 1911 at the level of legation and were elevated to the rank of embassy on December 1962. Switzerland is a federal republic composed of 26 autonomous cantons where 4 official languages are spoken. Unlike other countries, Switzerland does not have a single president who leads the nation. Instead, it is a federal council consisting of 7 members with a president elected annually only to represent the country without significant executive powers. Geneva is home to a major international institutions such as United Nations, the World Health Organization and the World Trade Organization. Switzerland is an incredible country, one of the wealthiest nations in the world, offering a perfect blend of tradition, innovation and breathtaking landscapes. About all this, I have the pleasure to discuss with His Excellency Mr. Massimo Baggi, Ambassador of Switzerland to Romania. Hello and welcome. Thank you for accepting our invitation and for hosting us at the residence of the embassy.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
Switzerland has a diverse culture, influenced by multiple European regions as German, French and Italian. What elements do you consider to be defining for Swiss cultural identity?
Well, what does it mean to be Swiss, right? Which is a good question to start with. I think that there are 2 things that define a lot Swiss people. The first one, for sure, multilingualism. You mentioned the reference to the neighboring country and the fact that in such a small territory like Switzerland, we have 4 national languages. It makes us very much acquainted with the idea of diversity and to live together in this diversity. So this is the first thing. And the second thing, I would say the federalism that we have in Switzerland. Switzerland is a very decentralized country. The regions in Switzerland plays a major role, much more than the central state. And that goes together with the different cultures that we have, because being very much focusing on regions that makes much easier to promote and to preserve those identity.
Your Excellency, Switzerland is also known for its expertise in banking and chocolate, but it's also famous for the art of watchmaking. How did watchmaking become one of Switzerland's most iconic industries, and what do you think? How do you think this tradition influences the perception of Swiss culture and innovation?
Well, I was sure that you would prefer watches to banks. You know, it goes back to the 16th century when Calvin brought reform to Switzerland, to Geneva, and he banned the people of wearing ornaments. And therefore, many goldsmiths and others started to shift their attention into precision instruments and particularly into watches. And out of the Geneva, it spread around mainly the French-speaking part of Switzerland, also because, for the same reason, because of the Protestant, for the reforms, many Huguenots started to come from Switzerland, from France to Switzerland, and brought also a lot of know-how related to watchmaking. And therefore, out of that, different coincidences, we developed a major sector, which became one of the 3 largest export industries of Switzerland, which made us very well known around the world, as you rightly said. And it became It contributed a lot to create an image of high technology, of innovation, of design, and out of that, this also spread around many other industries. But you're right, the watch industry is extremely important for us.
Swiss popular also includes traditions such yodeling, alpine festivals, and medieval fairs. How are these integrated into modern life, and how popular are they among younger generations?
It's amazing. In this time of globalization, I think that what we see very much in Switzerland, but probably in Romania too, is that regionalization, regional traditions remain extremely alive. I think that in this context of globalization, people need this to find their roots in these territories.
And to keep the traditions.
And to keep the traditions. And then, of course, we promote it out of those territory. We promote it. We have a national agency to promote the Swiss traditions in Switzerland and abroad, by the way. And this agency is also active in Romania, but always within the respect of the territory where those traditions are born. And I think that this mixture of respect for the territory and promotion internationally, it's a good way to highlight these peculiarities of our territory.
What are the most important Swiss traditions that can be discovered by the Romanian public? And if are there any plans to promote them through cultural events here in Romania?
Well, that's very much appreciated, this question, because last week my Minister for Foreign Affairs came to Romania on an official visit. But the main reason to come to Romania was not only the official talks with the dignitaries of Romania, but was a cultural objective to promote one of the four national languages in Romania. One of those national languages in Switzerland is called Romansh. It's a Neo-Latin language spoken by only 0.5% of the population, so very little, but it's a national language. And it's very similar to Romanian. And every year in Switzerland, this week, we have a week of promotion of these national languages. And my minister decided to come to Romania to launch this week of the Romansh language in Switzerland. And he came here, and we had events in Bucharest and in other regions of Romania. So this is just an example, but of course we have other, occasions to promote Swiss culture here in Romania, related to, for example, the Francophonie, which is very much dear to us, and we participate very actively in this group. We have our event of the embassy that we do with a major partner in Romania. We will participate to the UNESCO Music Festival in Bucharest. So, we try to highlight all that through specific events throughout the year.
For those who are interested, they can find information on a website about these cultural events?
A few of those events are on invitation.
Yes.
And others are open, of course, and these are either mentioned in our web page or they are actively promoted by our partner.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
How is Switzerland perceived as a cultural destination? Is there a growing interest from international tourists in the country's cultural aspects beyond the alpine landscapes?
Well, I mean, tourism for Switzerland is one of our major industry. You mentioned banks and watches, but tourism is equally one of the most important. I would say it makes probably a little less than 10% of our GDP. So really, it's important. And well, the landscape are very much known together with the cows and the chocolates and the cheese. But what is growing very much now in Switzerland is the importance of a city as a tourism destination for cultural event. And we see major cultural event coming up in cities in Switzerland. And now cities are becoming the competitor, if we can put it like that, of the mountains. Yes. When it comes to a destination for foreign tourists.
Switzerland is also known for innovation and excellence in education. Can you tell us if there are any academic exchanges and university collaboration between Romania and Switzerland?
Well, education for Switzerland is extremely important because, you know, we have very high cost of production in Switzerland, very high salaries. Yes. And whatever you produce in Switzerland, in order to be, accessible for the markets, must be of a very high value added. And in order to reach this level, we need a very high level of education. So we have, for ages invested a lot in education in Switzerland. And among the best rankings around the world, Swiss schools are among the top 10. And they reach out internationally and in Romania too, here in Bucharest, but not only in Bucharest, in other universities. Universities, of course, are absolutely independent and they decide upon their research and education activities in an independent way, and they reach out where they believe they find the best cooperation, and they are very much active here. But if you allow me, I would like to emphasize another feature of education in Switzerland. You mentioned higher education universities, but we are very proud to say that the majority of our youngsters, they don't go to university. They go for dual education, apprenticeship. That means that for 1 or 2 days per week, yes, they go to work, and the other 2 days or 3 days, they go to school. And we are very proud of that because we believe that if in Switzerland we have such a low unemployment rate, it's because these systems allows the youngsters to find immediately a job after the end of their training, because they were part of the labor market during their education. And many countries got in touch with Switzerland in order to export this kind of a model, if we can talk about a model. In Romania also. And now with the Ministry of Education in Romania, we are implementing the dual education system for a certain number of professions in Romania. And my minister was here last week, not only for a cultural project I told you about, but also to sign an agreement to promote dual education here in Romania.
It's nice to know that we have this kind of partnerships between Romania and Switzerland. Your Excellency, how is the transition from life in Switzerland to adapting to various cultures in the countries where you have worked?
Well, for me, it comes quite naturally because of my job. I decided 32 years ago to be a nomad. Diplomats are nomads, and I've been around for more than 30 years. And now for more than 15 years, I'm abroad. And of course, I have plenty of occasion to be in touch with my account. I would say that Switzerland, being such a small country, I think that it's extremely important for us to be very much open on the world and to embrace the opportunities of globalization.
What inspired you to pursue a career in diplomacy, and how did your journey begin?
It was a love story.
Really?
Not for
I
diplomacy.
wasn't expecting this answer.
Not for diplomacy, for a woman. I was teaching at the university at that time, 32 years ago, and I fall in love with one of my students. And when I started to, to meet her parents, I discovered that her father was ambassador of Switzerland.
Diplomat.
And therefore, I discovered this job that was not part at all of my history, of my aspiration, because I had in mind eventually to go for an international career, but not diplomacy, that I didn't know it even existed eventually. And then I discovered that it can be a fascinating job, and then I did the exam, and I started like that, and then I got posted in several countries. This is my 10th expatriation. It started with India, then Russia, and then back to Switzerland, and then Italy, Morocco, United Arab Emirates, and Romania.
How will you describe a typical work day in your life?
I wake up quite early, at around maybe 5:30 in the morning, and I do my gym, 1 hour, something like that, breakfast, and then I try to stay in the office in the morning in order to do my mails, the meetings internally at the embassy, and then very often I'm out for lunch, and in the afternoon also. And with the diplomatic life here in Bucharest, very active. So in the evening we are.
We have a lot of events actually here in Bucharest.
We are always out in the evening. I try to keep myself free at least once in a week in the evening, and eventually also to some extent during the weekend.
What advice you would give to a young person interested in pursuing a career in diplomacy, considering your experience?
Before choosing this job, you choose a lifestyle. You are nomad, and you remain nomad for a large portion of your life. And therefore, before being a diplomat, you have to consider the fact that it will be difficult to concentrate on one territory, and this is probably the most important thing that you have to keep it in mind even before you decide to join the diplomatic service.
Your Excellency, I know you have a passion and you are a polo player. And actually last year we had here in Singureni a polo cup. And you are much involved in this event. Can you tell us more about it?
No, of course, with pleasure. Diplomats also have passions, in fact. Well, yes, I've been playing polo for the last 20 years. It started when I was posted in India, and it never stops. And when I came to Romania 2 years ago, I saw that there was a very strong culture for horses in Romania. You have horses everywhere, working, jumping, with beautiful infrastructure, by the way, but no polo. And then when I discovered Singureni Manor, I thought, well, this is the place to start with polo, because I discovered lots of love for horses. They are wonderful Arabian horses, but no polo. And therefore I thought, well, maybe we can join hands. You have a wonderful passion, you have wonderful infrastructure. We can bring a few horses and teams, and we can do an event. And then what came out, in fact, was much bigger than what I could even imagine. And then we had this successful first Singureni Polo Cup. I must say that for me it was also an occasion to do exactly this kind of glamorous event in Romania, and polo is probably one of the most sophisticated events that you can have, in order to contribute to highlight an even better image of Romania at home and internationally, because we brought 4 teams from abroad, and we market very much the event abroad, internationally, through magazine and TVs and things like that. And for me, that was also one of my strong motivation to contribute to give also an image of excellence of Romania internationally. And apparently it worked, because everybody, myself, Sigureni, and the people who were behind all this big event, decided to continue and to make it recurrent. And the next edition will be on the 25th of September, always in Sigureni. And I hope that even more people will get acquainted with this sport and lifestyle also. In the meantime, we kept a few horses and we opened a polo school in Sigureni, and therefore Romanians now willing to start playing polo, well, it is available, and who knows that one of the teams in the future may be from Romania, and that would be wonderful.
Congratulations for this event. I know it was a huge event and very successful, and we will be there this year also.
Looking forward.
How has the economic landscape between Switzerland and Romania evolved over the past years, and what are the prospects for future growth?
Well, Switzerland is a small country when it comes to investment abroad. We are not that small, mainly because, as you highlighted, we have a large banking system in Switzerland, and this banking system drains major capitals to Switzerland that we don't need in Switzerland. And therefore, for us, it's of paramount importance that this will be reinvested abroad. Because if those capitals remain in Switzerland, invested on the Swiss franc, then the value of the Swiss franc is skyrocketing, and then it's a problem for our export industry and for our tourism. So for us, it's very important to be very present abroad, and we are very present here in Romania. Switzerland is ranking among the 7 to 8 most important economic players here in Romania. And in many areas, Swiss companies are clearly a leader in Romania, and the prospects are good, provided that Romania will continue to develop as you have been developing during the last few years. I would say since you joined the European Union, we saw an impressive implementation of reforms in Romania that makes our companies to feel the more and more comfortable, and therefore the more and more present in Romania. The prospects for the future are good, provided, of course, that this path will be continued in the future as well.
Switzerland is recognized as one of the most innovative economies in the world. What lesson can Romania learn from Swiss model of fostering innovation and research?
Well, it's a vast topic, and I think that innovation depends really on a number of factors. If I had to choose one, I really would like to emphasize education. I think that education is really of a paramount importance, not only for the professional success, but also to create citizens that are responsible and take the right decision for their country and contributes to the development of their country. So I think that education in the case of Switzerland is very much one of the key element. And then eventually another one that works well in Switzerland is the good cooperation between private and public sector. Having the public sector producing laws after consultation with the private sector, for example, in order to be sure that the private sector can, say what are the problems and the challenges, and having the government to listen to that before they produce new piece of legislation. I think that this is also something that helps a lot. And of course, eventually, the fact that we are a decentralized country helps all that, because in Switzerland, major decisions are not taken by politicians, it's taken by the people. You know that in Switzerland we go to vote for plenty of things every 3 months, 4 months. So, the people decide, and the people are citizens and companies, of course. So these are a few elements that certainly contributed to the success of Switzerland.
What opportunities exist for Romanian entrepreneurs and startups to access Swiss markets or collaborate with Swiss investors?
I think Switzerland is an open country. We welcome investors, we welcome trade, import of goods. We have free trade agreements with a number of countries. Switzerland is a world champion of free trade agreements simply because we are small, and therefore we have to be open. I would say, in general, come to Switzerland if you are reasonably sure you can contribute with high value added products and services, because the cost of producing in Switzerland are relatively high, and therefore you have to be sure that your products and services have very high value added in order to justify this high cost of production that we have in Switzerland.
How does cultural diplomacy play a role in facilitating economy and trade relations between Switzerland and Romania?
Well, I think that maybe not directly, but indirectly for sure, it helps us to understand Romania better, and it helps us to understand also the diversity of Romania. You are much more centralized in Switzerland, at least from a political point of view. But when I go around in Romania, I see the diversity that you have from a cultural point of view, and I think that this helps a lot.
What is your vision for the future of Swiss-Romanian relations, and how do you see bilateral economic cooperation evolving in the coming years?
Well, we are very much engaged in Romania, and I keep saying that we are not part of the European Union, and when you are not part of this club, you have the chance to, step up cooperation with your best friends. And that's what we did with Romania, and we have here a bilateral cooperation program with Romania, which is quite important. We invest 220 million euro in 11 programs that are going on already. We mentioned dual education. We have a program on health with the Ministry of Health of Romania to address addictions of youngsters who get addicted to drugs, for example, and other addictions. And we have a program here to support SMEs, and we bring finance for SMEs. And this is going up until 2029. So for the next 4 years, we really have strong bilateral cooperation programs when it comes to the government of Switzerland. And then, of course, the big strength of Switzerland here is our private sector. And when you are foreign investor number 7, number 8, you are entitled to believe that provided Romania will continue to develop as it is doing now for the few last year, that this also will follow. And maybe the big opportunity that we also see is the reconstruction of Ukraine after the war. Finally, we are talking about peace, and if this will be a success, these talks, eventually negotiations, then the issue of reconstruction of Ukraine will be a big endeavor, and we are preparing ourselves back in Switzerland. But we consider Romania one of the major entry doors for the reconstruction of Ukraine, thanks to your position in Constanța mainly. And by the way, last week my minister, when he was here, we went to see the port of Constanța and we tried to understand better which are the opportunities. So I would say that this can be a big step forward for the next few years.
Thank you again for accepting our invitation. I'm sure our followers will be delighted by this conversation. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to learn more about the culture and diplomacy. I'm Catalina Damian, and see you next time.